Welcome to this masterclass. Today, we're going to completely redefine an industry and shift your operational paradigm. Most people view commercial cleaning as a basic, reactive, everyday chore, but honestly, that amateur mindset is a massive liability. Instead, we're going to treat this exactly as what it truly is, a highly structured, compliance-driven operational discipline. Whether you're managing a commercial facility, overseeing a healthcare environment, or running a large-scale cleaning operation, this training is going to give you the exact professional frameworks you need to elevate your standards to an elite level. Let's dive right in.
To establish our baseline, we really need to understand the core thesis of this masterclass. Premium facility management requires relentless, uncompromising operational discipline, and it's centered entirely around asset preservation and strict risk mitigation. A professional cleaning operation isn't just a flurry of random cleaning activity. It's a highly controlled operational system. It absolutely must be built around efficiency, strict hygiene standards, absolute repeatability, and the continuous reduction of risk to the occupants inside your building.
Here is our agenda for today. We'll be systematically covering 5 core modules. 1. Foundations of facility hygiene. 2. Safety and regulatory compliance. 3. Professional operational workflows. 4. High-risk environment protocols. And finally, 5. Quality assurance and KPIs.
Module 1. Foundations of Facility Hygiene.
The very first shift we need to make is defining our actual objective. The core objective of professional cleaning is not aesthetics. We aren't just trying to make a lobby look shiny. Our true objective is systematically removing dirt, pathogens, and environmental pollutants. Why? To protect occupant health, preserve facility assets, and maintain strict regulatory compliance. When you start viewing your operation through the lens of risk mitigation, every single task your team performs takes on a critical level of importance. Because the true cost of failure here isn't just a dirty floor. We're talking about millions of dollars in liability, accelerated asset degradation, and potentially severe outbreaks of illness.
That brings us to Module 2, Safety and Regulatory Compliance.
Listen, you can have the most beautiful facility in the world, but without safety and regulatory compliance firmly in place as your bedrock, your operation will inevitably fail during an audit. Let's look at exactly where operations fail most often. Facility managers must treat compliance as a baseline qualification, not some optional bonus. Look closely at these top OSHA compliance violations in the commercial cleaning industry. Hazard communication is a big one. Missing safety data sheets and unlabeled secondary containers are massive liabilities. Then there's personal protective equipment. You literally cannot just hand out gear, you must have a documented hazard assessment. And if your team encounters potentially infectious materials, a rigorous bloodborne pathogens exposure control plan is legally required. You have to ensure strict protocols are not just documented on a shelf somewhere, but actively trained on the floor.
Furthermore, when we look at EPA compliance, it demands a concept called stewardship. Now, this is a green cleaning principle that goes way beyond just buying eco-friendly chemicals. Stewardship actually means mobilizing your entire human resource pool to implement proactive pollution prevention strategies. It involves strictly managing your chemical storage and disposal and properly utilizing tools to effectively minimize exposure for both your frontline staff and the building occupants, all while maximizing morale and productivity.
Module 3. Professional operational workflows.
Now that our compliance baseline is set, we're transitioning from the paperwork of compliance to physical execution on the ground. Every single elite cleaner fundamentally understands soil identification. You see, different soils require distinct, sequential actions. You absolutely cannot disinfect a surface that's still covered in sticky soil. The hierarchy of cleaning has to be strictly followed based on the contaminant. First, you remove loose soil like trash and dust. Next, you treat sticky or mineral soils with specific targeted chemicals. Only after the surface is physically clean do you move to that final step of sanitizing or disinfecting for biological soils. Skipping these steps, it just creates a false sense of security and leaves dangerous pathogens behind.
Physical execution is also governed by a very strict spatial logic. Think of this as the choreography of professional cleaning. Step 1. Always move from clean areas to dirty areas to prevent the backward drag of cross-contamination. Step 2. Work high to low. You've got to dust those top surfaces before addressing floors. Otherwise, gravity is just going to pull that dust down and ruin a freshly clean floor. And Step 3. Work inward to outward. Start at the very back of the room and move toward the exit. These deliberate sequences optimize your labor efficiency and guarantee a true sanitary baseline.
To actually enforce this spatial logic, you have to implement a professional color coding methodology. This maps specific colored cloths, mops, and buckets to distinct risk zones. For example, restricting red tools exclusively to high-risk areas like toilets and urinals, and using yellow strictly for clinical or infectious risk zones. This is an absolutely non-negotiable operational standard. It's the only way to prevent a cleaner from wiping down a restroom counter and then taking that exact same cloth right into an office break room.
Module 4. High-risk environment protocols.
Now we're going to apply these exact workflows to critical environments, focusing heavily on isolating biological risk. To execute this properly, you must adopt a systematic room cleaning path adapted from CDC procedures. Cleaning a patient or resident room requires a highly methodical, clockwise or counterclockwise flow. Notice how the physical flow deliberately moves around the room, addressing each patient zone separately. By systematizing the path this way, your team ensures zero missed areas, which directly protects both the next patient and your healthcare workers.
Now, when dealing with rooms under contact or enhanced barrier precautions, the stakes are exponentially higher. These rooms must always be cleaned last, after all the standard rooms, just to isolate the risk. You must utilize strictly prepared EPA-registered disinfectants, and you need to verify proper dilution daily. An absolutely vital professional standard here is dwell time. Surfaces must remain visibly wet for the exact time specified by the manufacturer to actually kill the pathogens. And here is the golden rule of infection control. Never, ever double dip or leave a used, contaminated cloth in a prepared, clean disinfectant solution. No exceptions.
Finally, Module 5, Quality Assurance and KPIs. We've reached the peak of our operational pyramid. Listen, a system is literally only as good as its auditing mechanism. We have to close the loop through rigorous data tracking. A world-class quality management system distinguishes between 3 types of key performance indicators. First up, process KPIs. These track adherence to protocols, like are your staff actually washing their hands or diluting chemicals correctly. Second, we have outcome KPIs. These measure the actual result of the work, such as the facility's infection rates or audit scores. And third, balancing KPIs. These are absolutely crucial because they monitor for unintended negative impacts, making sure your interventions don't create a brand new problem elsewhere, like a harsh chemical causing skin irritation among your frontline staff.
By mapping infection prevention and control domains directly to these distinct indicators, facility managers can rapidly identify exact points of failure in their workflows. Think about it. If your outcome indicator shows high infection rates, but your process indicator shows high hand hygiene compliance, you instantly know the failure is somewhere else, perhaps in environmental cleaning or decontamination. This data-driven approach removes all the guesswork. It allows you to target your training and allocate your resources with absolute pinpoint precision.
So, when you're out there conducting your zone-by-zone facility walkthroughs, remember this rule. You must audit both the aesthetic outcome and the specific method the team used. A space can look visually clean, but if the team skipped chemical dwell times or completely ignored color coding, the process has still failed. When you find a deficiency, do not just issue a quick reminder. You have to tie your findings directly to retraining and procedure updates. Fix the actual process that caused the failure in the first place. I want to leave you with this final thought. Audit your own environment today and ask yourself honestly, is your facility relying on the guesswork of amateur cleaning, or are you executing a systematized, compliance-driven operational discipline? I challenge you to take the exact frameworks from this masterclass, optimize your quality assurance systems, eliminate the fluff, and permanently elevate the standard of your operational environments starting right now. Thank you for joining this masterclass.